All right. Let's have a hand for Soul Serene, huh? Are they great or what? This is the second rally we've been together at. Soul Serene, thank you guys. Thanks for wearing the shirt. Thanks for wearing the buns. Thanks for being here. Thank you all for being here. I know why you're here, because you want to take your state back. Is that right? You want your state back? You want Idaho back? Folks, thank you very much for being here, and thanks to all the organizers of this and the BSU Democrats. They're just great. My whole family's here, and I want to introduce them. My sister Sue, my sister Paula, my wonderful wife of 41 years, Christine, and my daughter Anna, and her son Charlie. He's 4 years old. There's Charlie right there. There you go. And my niece, and Sarah, and Gretchen, and Lily. The whole family's here. They came up because we're going to celebrate a big victory tomorrow night. For the first time since 1974, we're going to elect a Democrat to the United States Senate. Do you think that's a good idea? I think it's a good idea. You know, the reason I got into this race, because I wanted to have a little balance in this state. I don't know if you've noticed it, but it's all one way. All the deals are cut behind closed doors with special interests. I wanted to open it up, have some transparency. I was running against Larry Craig when I got into this race, and I didn't like what he was doing on the war. He was just a rubber stamp for this president on the war, and I thought that was wrong. What do you think about having a rubber stamp for this Iraq war? I thought it was wrong at the time, and I thought he needed to be taken out just because he said yes to everything that Bush said about the war. He swallowed it hook, line, and sinker. But the other reason I got into this race is because our civil liberties were being eroded. This government was reading our mail and listening to our phone conversations, and I thought that was wrong. And I thought we needed to open that up and make sure that the government was working on our behalf and not against us. Folks, this is the most important election of my lifetime. I'm 62 years of age, and I think it's the most important election of your lifetime, no matter how long you're going to be voting. America's on the wrong track. You know it, and I know it, and we need somebody to go back there and fix it. It was just mentioned that I served in Congress in the early 90s. When I went back to Congress, the inflation rate was up, unemployment was up, and the deficits were out of control, and we needed to fix it. So you sent me back there as the first Democrat in about a quarter of a century, and when I got done there, we were on the track for a balanced budget, a surplus. We had 7 straight years of declining unemployment, and we had a great era of prosperity in this country, and that's what we're going to do again. Folks, this election is not about my job. This election is not about my job. It is about your job. It's about your job, college graduates, people that are studying, people that are going into the workforce. It's about Lily and Charlie. It's about their jobs and their futures. We've got to get this right. Our reputation around this world has been tarnished. We've got to get that right. We've got to rebuild our military. We need an energy policy that's going to reduce our addiction to foreign oil and make sure that we develop alternative sources of energy in this state. And I'll tell you what, my plan will develop and create 14,000 new jobs for you in the state just by developing wind, solar, geothermal, biomass, and biofuel, and yes, nuclear power. We can do it in the state and create jobs for you. We can get that done. This map, this election is changing by the minute. I'm getting reports from my field offices of people that are standing in line around the block waiting to vote early. The registrations are up. People are moving from independent to Democrat. They're moving from Republican to independent and coming our way. They want balance. They want somebody who's going to go back to Washington, D.C., be a pragmatic problem solver, and work across the aisle to get things done for the betterment of this great state and the betterment of our country. It's about time this Congress worked on your behalf, and I want to go back there and make sure that we do that. And I hope you're there for me tomorrow. Are you there for me tomorrow? I need your vote. I need your vote. Now listen, this is about values, folks. I got into this race as well because I want to represent the working families of this state. The working families of this state have been at the back of the line for far too long. And it's evidenced by what was done in 2006 by our lieutenant governor, then governor. And let me tell you what he did. He gave property tax relief to the largest corporations in this state. 60% of the property tax went to them, and you know how he paid for it? He put on a 20% sales tax increase for the working families, and he even put it on food and groceries. That was wrong. It was wrong, and it shows you his values. It shows you his values. And when he was asked by Sue Chu and Elliot Work, what are you going to do about the grocery tax and put this on food? He said, I'll get to that later. And that means that the working families are at the back of the line, but the people that are in the closed doors and the closed rooms with him cutting the deals are at the front of the line. Those are his buddies. And we've got to put an end to that. Do you know, folks, that there are only 14 states in this country that have a sales tax on groceries and food? Only 14 states. And we're one of them, and other states are trying to take it to zero, but Jim Risch wants to take it up. He doesn't support an increase in the minimum wage. He doesn't support an increase in the minimum wage. He thinks that George Bush is one of the greatest presidents we've ever had. Do you agree with that? Do you think George Bush was the greatest president? I don't. I think he's the one who's put us in the ditch with his economic policies, and means that we've got to go back there and make sure that we get it right this time. He doesn't have an energy policy. But I'll tell you what his plan really is to take money from the big oil companies and do their bidding in the United States Senate. I think that's wrong. You know what his health care plan is? It's nothing. It's basically can be described in 3 words. Don't get sick. It doesn't amount to anything. I've got an energy plan that's on my website. I've got a health care plan that's there on civil liberties, on immigration, national security, and other issues of importance to you, the people. His website has 309 words on it, and the thing that I fault him most for it is that not one of those words has the word veteran in it. He has not said one word about what he's going to do for the veterans that are coming home that have served us bravely in the United States Army and military services. Not one word. Folks, every month, 1,000 veterans who are under the care of the Veterans Administration attempt suicide in this country, and he doesn't say one word about the benefits and our outreach to them who are suffering from traumatic brain injury and PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Not one word. He hasn't spent one word talking about the veterans. I'm the only veteran that is running for the United States Senate this year out of 5 people. I've served my country. My sister down here, Paula, and I were in the military together. She was a Navy nurse during the Vietnam War, and I was an Army officer during the Vietnam War. And Jim Risch told us the other day in a debate that he skipped the war because he had an ulcer. And I don't think that's a good excuse. He needs to explain more about that. But folks, tomorrow there's going to be a clear choice. Tomorrow there's going to be a clear choice. And as I mentioned, this map is moving by the minute. I can feel it coming. And the young people are going to take over this campaign. They're going to take over the election. The pundits, the reporters, the pollsters have got it all wrong. You are in control of your destiny and in this state. You are in control of Idaho politics if you will get out there tomorrow and make the right choice and elect me to the United States Senate and go down ballot and make sure that we get it right this time. Folks, I've had a wonderful journey over the last 562 days, but who's counting? I started this campaign by saying I was going to go out and work side by side and shoulder to shoulder with the working families of this state, and I did that. I've had 35 jobs across the state of Idaho, all across the state. I've worked in nursing homes in Pocatello, at the cheese plant in Twin Falls, at Amalgamated Sugar in Nampa. I've worked with Head Start programs. I've worked in warehouses. I've packed cargo chutes with the smoke jumpers. I've waited tables. I've shaved people in the nursing homes. I've worked with plumbers and bricklayers and folks and sheep herders across the state. And they tell me